Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing good. So today in this video we'll learn how to create a web API to allow external systems to communicate with Appian and how to set up the authentication in web API in order to secure our web APIs. Okay, and also let me know below in the comment section the topics which you want me to make videos on. Alright, so without wasting further more time, let's get right into the video. So we create web API just like how we create any other object in Appian. You just have to go to new, select the type of object you want to create from the designer menu. Okay, we need a web API, so just hit web API. Okay, so there are two ways to create a web API, either by selecting a template or by creating from scratch. So we will be going ahead with second option, that is create from scratch. Cool. You have to provide the name of your web API. We'll name it as AS countries. Okay, description, which is not mandatory. I'll leave it as it is, but it is always a best practice to provide the description. HTTP method get, because the external system wants to retrieve the data from Appian, right? So the method which we are going to use is get. Okay, endpoint, which is very important. Our web API is gonna be all about retrieving countries. Okay, so we'll just provide country as my endpoint. Country. Cool. So now comes security, which is already set. I'll come to this part later in order to set up the authentication. Okay, hit save button. So now we are going to query country table to retrieve the country data. Okay, and store that in a local variable. Cool. The table is already in place wherein I have manually inserted the data. Okay, so we'll initialize a local variable. Okay, let's name it as local countries, and here we need to query a table, right? So a bank query entity is nothing but the constant which points to data store entity, right? Cons ASDSC country. Okay, so what this query entity is gonna do, it's gonna hit the database and fetch the entire data of our country table, because we have passed the batch size is -1 and gonna store the data in this local variable. All right, next we have to construct an HTTP response. Okay, that is gonna tell the client that the body of the response is JSON encoded. Okay, so in here we will use a bang HTTP response. Okay, here we have three parameters: status code, headers, body. So status code is nothing but it indicates whether a specific HTTP request has been successfully completed or not. So if it is 200, then it has been successfully completed. If it is 400, then it's a bad request. And next we have headers. Okay, a bang HTTP header. And here I have to pass the name is gonna be content type. Okay, and then we have value will be application JSON. Okay, because it's in JSON format, right? If it is in XML format, then you just have to use application XML. Okay, and then we have this body. Okay, in body we will be sending the JSON encoded data. So this is our data and we have to convert it in JSON, right? So we'll use a bang to JSON. Value is local countries. Okay, there you go. Let me just format the code and test this out to see if it is working or not. Here you can see this, it has returned the status code as 200. That means it has been successfully completed, and in the body we have the data in the JSON format, right? You can see the country name and the country ID. And the most important thing is that we cannot create rule inputs in web API. In case you want to filter the data, you can use query parameters for that, right? So we use query parameters for a couple of reasons, but in our case we will want to use them to filter the data returned from the query, right? So in this table I don't have any such field against which I can filter my data, but just to show you guys, I will be filtering my data against this country ID. Okay, so first of all here we need to add that filter parameter, filter, okay, a bank query filter, comma is missing here. Okay, the field is gonna be this country ID. Operator is equal to and value, http request dot query parameters dot the name of your query parameter. Okay, let's create a query parameter over here. Let's name it as ID. Here I can just pass ID to this. Now this query parameter will be appended to the end of the URL so that we can pass specific value into our request. As you can see here, okay, this ID has been appended. Now we cannot pass a blank value into the value parameter of a query filter, right? In here, to handle this null value, we will want to specify that the filter should only be applied when the value of this query parameter is not null. Okay, let me also show you guys by testing this request. See, here it's failing just because we have passed a blank value to this query parameter. Now if I just pass the value as 2 and again test this request, it says country when comparing to value. Let me just wrap it inside to integer. Okay, and test this out again. Here you go. It has retrieved the data where the country ID is 2, right? It has filtered out the data. So it's working. But if I just remove this 2 from here and try to test this again, it is gonna fail. So we have to handle this as well. So we'll just use apply when parameter, apply when a bank is not null or empty. Is not null or empty, this http request.id. Okay. Now if I test this again, it is not gonna fail. Instead it will fetch the entire data because we are not filtering it against ID, right? Now we are going to set up the authentication. Okay, so let's just save our changes. There are 4 ways to set up the authentication in WebAPI. First one is basic authentication, second one is API key, third OAuth client, and then the fourth is session based. So we will be learning how to set up the API key authentication in this video. Okay, you have to go to admin console, scroll all the way down until you find this WebAPI authentication. Okay, and here it says create API keys and pass them in an Appian API key header to authenticate web APIs. Okay, so we'll create an API key. Let's provide some description. Country API. Okay, we will have to select a user. So either you can create a new basic user or you can select an existing basic user. Okay, so just to save up some time, I will not be creating a new user. Instead, I will be going ahead with an existing user. Let's go with this community edition service account. Okay, as soon as you hit this create button, you will be provided with an API key which you have to copy and keep it safe with you. Okay, I have jotted it down, then click OK. Cool. Go back to our web API, go to security. Okay, and now we have to also provide the access to that service account so that the data of this web API can be accessed by that service account. Okay, so here you have to add users or group. You have to add your group. That account is added to a group called service accounts. This one, the members of this service account are not allowed to log into Appian. Okay, so you have to select the service account and you have to give the viewer permission. Okay, save your changes. So authentication is done. Now it's time to test our web API. Okay, which I will be doing using Postman. Cool. So here you have to enter the URL. I have already copied that URL. Now I'm going to enter it over here. Okay, and then once this is done, you just have to hit this send button. It's sending a request to Appian now, and there you go. It's erroring. It says authentication failed. So we have set up the authentication in our web API, right? Just to make it secure. Likewise, we have to do the same over here in order to make the request successful. So from here you have to select the right authentication, that's API key. Okay, and then in key you just have to pass Appian hyphen API hyphen key. If you remember, while creating an API key, there was an instruction that create API key and pass them in an Appian API key header to authenticate your web API. So the same thing we are doing here. In value, you have to pass the same API key which you have created while creating an API key in admin console. Okay, so I have jotted it down. I'll just copy that thingy and paste it over here, okay, in the value parameter. And now I will send a request to Appian again by clicking this send button. Okay, send. There you go. It's retrieving the entire data, right? Now if I just want to filter it against the country ID by passing the ID as 2 and send the request again to Appian, it's gonna retrieve the data where country ID is equal to 2, right? So that's how it is working. In the next video, I'll show you guys that how we can use this API within Appian itself. So stay tuned for that. So I think that's pretty much for the day. If you want more such videos, please like my video, share it as much as you can, and yes, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, cheers, bye bye.